Hey, I haven't uploaded in a while. I like how I was like, I'm gonna upload every week. Girl, I'm glad I didn't make no promises to nobody. I'll just say that. Um, let's catch up, shall we? Last time I uploaded, I was preparing for a 5K. I ran that 5K with a sinus infection and an ear infection. I was very sick for like weeks, right? Like I was super sick. Wasn't getting over it. Finally went to the doctor and they had to put me on antibiotics. Super strong antibiotics. So, yeah. Sick and then just kind of had no motivation. And then I was gonna film a video for Mental Health Awareness Month. But then tragedy struck my family, and a family friend, a friend of my family's that has been my family for, her whole life, pretty much. So she was in her 40s. She took her life. So I'm still going to make this kind of about mental health awareness because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And if you know me, you know that I struggled with mental health really bad, especially when I was younger. And I really prided myself on, being like, wow, I don't feel this way anymore. Like I'm very proud of myself for getting myself out of that hole. But with recent events, I've realized that maybe I still have like my hand in the hole, right? Like I'm just like reaching, like it's like I'm next to it, right? Like I'm not too close that I'm gonna fall in, but I'm like next to it. Like I can peer into the hole that I've dug myself out of. And I thought I was a lot further from that hole. So it's been kind of a hard couple of weeks. Not kind of. It has been a very hard couple of weeks. My mental health has not been good. And on top of my mental health not being good, work has been super, super, super stressful. Now, if you're a friend and you're seeing this, and even if you're not a friend and you're seeing this and you're concerned, I'm fine. I am safe. I'm not going to hurt myself or anybody else. I don't have any intentions of doing that. I don't have any desires to do that. But it's just been hard to kind of process everything, right? I've lost friends to themselves before, but this one was really hard because it was somebody I looked up to. Like it was an adult in my life that I was like, oh wow, like that's someone that I grew up with, like looking up to when I was little. So it was very jarring to hear. I've kind of processed it now. I'm kind of at a place where I'm just like still stepping through grief, but I'm not like feeling like my world is crashing around me. Right? Like, so I want to talk about mental health and kind of my faith too, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of decided I needed to record something, so this is probably going to be a lot of ums and yeah and rambling, but yeah. So a little bit of my testimony. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Effie. I'm 25 and I'm lucky to be 25. When I was 12, I self-harmed for the first time. Trigger warning, by the way, in this video. I'll put a disclaimer in the title, but if you've gotten this far and didn't read the title, trigger warning. I used to self-harm very bad from the time I first self-harmed up until I was 16 when I went inpatient in the mental institution. I had attempted to take my life multiple times between the ages of, I think my first attempt was at 14. So from 14 to 16, I probably tried to take my life 10 times, 10 or 11, I think. I don't know. I lost count. The last time I tried to take my life, I was 16. I sat in my bathroom, locked myself in my bathroom, and took a bottle of my sleeping pills, my prescription sleeping pills, So not like melatonin, stronger. And then I got scared because my dad said my name because he was worried about me, and I made myself throw up. And then I was mad at myself when I woke up the next morning. I had therapy that night, and I'd planned to do it again. And when I went to therapy, I just told her what I did and that I wanted to do it again, and she 5150'd me. It was actually a week hold. I did not get 72 hours, which was good. I needed the week. For sure. The week in the mental institution changed my life forever. If it wasn't for me going to the mental institution, I would not be here today, and I definitely would not be the woman I am today had I survived myself. While I was in the mental institution, I met a really good friend who passed away a few years, like a year or two later, while he was at college. And that kind of sent me into a spiral, but I ended up being able to stay clean. I relapsed in February of 2017, but ever since then I've been clean, so I have 9 years. Is that right? Yeah, 8 years, 9 years? I don't know. I lost count. I have a tracker that keeps count for me, so I don't need to remember in my head. But I kind of want to talk about how my faith correlates with me not struggling so bad with my mental health anymore. I started struggling really bad again in 2019. I started really having thoughts of harming myself really bad at 19. I just had a lot going on. A lot was not going good for me. I was in cosmetology school. I had just dropped out of my what was supposed to be my 4-year college because I decided that what I was going for, which was criminal psychology, was not for me. And I dropped out with kind of no idea of what I wanted to do next. And then I just applied for cosmetology school and started going through that. And that really took a toll on my mental health because I wasn't really ready to go back to school. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do cosmetology. And ding-a-ling-a-ling, I didn't, because that's not what I do for a living. So I kind of wasted my money. But I am glad that I went and I learned the things I did and I met the people I did. So I guess that's not really a waste. But paying $10,000 to make one friend feels like a lot. But sorry, that was this thingy. I was just trying to get something to fidget with. But my mental health took a really big toll, and I was going through a lot, and up until I was, I was struggling really bad up until 2021, late 2021, because my boyfriend and I started dating in June of 2021, and I was starting to do a little bit better, but I wasn't like perfect, right? Like I was still going through a lot, and I was pretty broken, pretty hurt. I graduated beauty school in 2020 during COVID. COVID also really did a number on me, as it did everyone, I'm sure, but it messed me up pretty bad. I was pretty scared. I have really bad anxiety, and the state I live in was talking about doing martial law, and so that really scared me, and obviously we did not end up doing martial law, but I had at this point started the process of deconstructing from my faith, and so I had kind of like nothing for hope, right? And when I started dating my boyfriend in June of 2021, I kind of just stayed there. Like my mental health was getting better, but I didn't really care about my faith still. Like I was kind of following like witchcraft, paganism a little bit, believing in like tarot and crystals and all that stuff. But in 2023, it would have been when I started my current job. I kind of started getting back into church a little bit more because I had Sunday nights off, so I could go to this like recovery group that I go to with my dad. And that helped a lot. Like, it was kind of weird because I was so against religion at that point, I guess. But I started going back to church and started kind of like really trying. Like, I was like, well, I need something, right? Like, I need something to believe in. And like, I would sit there and be like, yeah, I'm a Christian, but then I would believe in tarot and astrology and all that kind of stuff. So I was very much a lukewarm Christian. And if you've read the Bible, you know about lukewarm Christianity and how detrimental it is, and how you cannot see the gates of heaven if you're a lukewarm Christian. And I don't even really remember like what exactly did it for me, but something really struck me and I came back to the church fully. I denounced kind of, I think, last year, so 2024, it would have been probably around June. I was in a step study at this time with my recovery group, and I denounced all of the paganism and stuff, denounced all of that, stopped looking at my crystals as something that could heal me, and just like they're pretty rocks that came from the earth, because that's all they are, and started really getting back into my faith more. And I noticed a dramatic change in my mental health when that happened. Like, I got better, right? I had a doctor's appointment in September, I think. Yeah, it would have been September. Because it would have been right before my mother-in-law's birthday. And I went and they did, depression and anxiety questionnaire, and I filled them out, and my doctor was like, oh, well, looks like you don't fit criteria for depression anymore, so like, that's good. And I was like, wow. I was like, this is something I like prayed for a really long time, and that prayer finally got answered. And I mean, I can only attest to that being faithful, right? Like, I was faithful in my prayer, and it was answered because I was faithful, right? But yeah, I see a lot of discourse online about how, like, whether you believe it or not, I see some people that do believe in God saying that he can't heal, like, your mental health and stuff. And I think that that's baloney. I think he can absolutely heal your mental health, because he did it for me. I mean, sure, people can sit there all day and until the cows come home yell at me and tell me I didn't actually have depression because it went away. But I literally was diagnosed with major manic depressive disorder, to be specific, which, if you guys know about anything about major manic depressive disorder, it doesn't really have a very good outlook on people's lives, especially young women. It's not a very promising outlook. It can usually lead to other things, like addictions and stuff, and which, yes, I had an addiction and everything, but by the grace of God, I'm healed now. So, I don't know. All this to say, that's my testimony, I guess, a little bit of it. So all this to say, mental health is important. If you're ever feeling alone or discouraged or like you can't go on anymore, there's resources that can help you. There are people that love you and care about you. The mental health crisis hotline is 988. It's very simple to remember, and it'll be in my description too. There's a lot of resources. There's a lot more resources than what you would think, and they're kind of hard. Sometimes they're kind of hard to find, especially when you're feeling in that pit. So find somebody that you trust and just ask them to help you. That's the first step. It's the hardest, but it is the first. I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I had to sneeze. But there are resources to help you. There are people that love you and care about you. This is gonna sound mean, but coming from someone that was like in that headspace and wanted to take my own life, there is nothing big enough for you to do that. Almost everything in your life can be fixed, and if it can't, then that's just life, bro. Like, you just gotta thug it out, you know what I mean? Debt, money, that stuff doesn't matter. When you're gone, when you're, 150 and 150, hello. When you're, 90 years old and you're on your deathbed of natural causes, that's not gonna matter. That's not gonna matter. And I'm not saying go rack up a bunch of debt and never pay it, but money and stuff, it's fleeting. It doesn't matter. You don't need to worry that much, right? Like, I get paying your rent and stuff matters, yes. But don't do that. Don't listen to him. If you heard him, don't listen to him. But, like, bro, like, there are resources. There are so many resources, right? Like, nothing is big enough for you to take your own life, right? Like, there's help for you out there. You're going to prison, dude, just live it out. Go to jail. If you're committing crime and you're gonna go to jail, just do that, dude. Consequences of your own actions. You've got to just kind of live with yourself sometimes, and I know that sucks, and that's not a fun thing to hear, but it's something I had to hear, and it's something that changed my life, is, hey, sometimes you just gotta thug it out. You just gotta live with it. You just gotta go through the motion, because I'm here today, right? Like, I'm alive. I'm here. I had so many reasons, right? Like, I went through the ringer growing up. I was assaulted, abused. My mother didn't care about me. My mother was a drug addict. I was relentlessly bullied. Moved to a state that I didn't want to move to, which I'm still glad I did now. Was not glad I did up until I was 19, 20. I mean, I just wasn't happy. I was still kind of bitter that we moved, to a different state from the state I grew up in. But now I'm very happy I did, because now I have the life that I have, and I wouldn't have had that if I would have stayed back in the state that I'm from. So, I don't know. All that to say, there's hope. There's healing. And you've just got to kind of hold on to that. I know it's way easier said than done, and it's easy to have somebody that now has, a fairly decent life, and, I'm able to pay off, my debt and stuff, but I'm very blessed that I'm able to do that. Like, that came from blood, sweat, and tears, literally. I mean, literally blood, sweat, and tears. The amount of times I cry at work, girl, ridiculous. But I'm doing it. And you can too. Like, I truly believe there's nothing is too far gone, right? Like, you can't be too far gone until you were literally dead. So, if you're still alive and breathing and you're watching this video, you're not too far gone. There's hope for you. You just gotta find it. Love you.